Hello. Today I'm here just talking about some knife maintenance. The reason I thought I'd make this video is just kind of a quick video on basically how to maintain your knife in the field and at home. So one thing I find I don't actually have to do very often is maintenance on my knife. The reason for that is, or sharpening should I say, because every time I get home from a trip or a hike or anything where I've used it, I generally use a strop to put an edge back on the knife. But a couple differences I just want to talk about knives is, first off, so this pocket knife here has what's called a secondary bevel. You can see the little flash there. In my opinion, these knives are quite a bit harder to sharpen for most people. Reason for that is you can see that little tiny bevel. A lot of people don't get it right, don't hit the edge on when sharpening. So my preference has always been in knives is what's called a single bevel. As you can see on this knife here, there's no secondary flash at the tip. The angle of the knife goes down right to a direct V. So I wanted to show you the difference kind of between those two knives, but I'll kind of show why this one too, in my opinion, is a lot easier to maintain in the field. And if you know how to use it, there's a lot of people who have preferences either or. My preference is this, because if you know how to do maintenance on a knife, in my opinion, this is just a sharper knife. You can shave with them. If you know how to maintain them, you know, lots of benefits. So just to kind of start off, usually what I'll do to maintain a knife, so as I said here, I usually have, this is my home kit, which is sharpening stone, coarse and fine grit, and a large strop, which this side has some compound on, this side it doesn't. So I would say I almost never have to sharpen this knife with an actual stone, because anytime I get home, now I'll just want to show you here, this knife, just dulled it a bit, not shaving any hair off. With stropping though, and what I do is that you just, with a single bevel, you just have to lay it flat on the strop, pull it off. So I'm a bit of an obsessive stropper. I'll sit on the couch and do this for, you know, an hour sometimes just to get it razor sharp, but a lot of times if you maintain it regularly, you don't need to do that. So I'm just going to take it on the compound side a bunch of times back and forth. And what that does is it knocks the tiny little edge on this that starts to fold over time. You're kind of knocking that back and forth when you're stropping it until eventually it either falls off or it's so minuscule that you don't notice it when cutting. So now I'll take it a few times on this plain edge without compound. Let's see if we can get this to shave. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, not much work, and gets a knife shaving sharp again. So again, this is my at-home kit. Now I always carry in this bag here, which is my little tool bag. You know, I got fire steel, spoon, lighter. I always carry a little mini strop just to do maintenance while I'm in the field. Again, very rare do you actually have to do that though. And then I think this is one of the best sharpeners on the market right now for field. It's a Worksharp Field Sharpener. It's got a coarse grit, fine grit. This right here is ceramic. One of the best things if you're kind of, your knife edge is in between the, needs a little more than stropping, but you don't want to take a lot of material off with the fine edge. You can use this ceramic here to get the edge back honed a bit, and then right on the strop on the edge here. So this is a nice little piece of kit to have because it fits small, fits in most of your, you know, carrying bags and stuff, and it has everything you need on there for light knife maintenance. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you some knife maintenance today. In my opinion, why a single bevel knife is better. And again, I find that because even if I'm able to, you know, it hasn't happened yet, but if I did somehow take a big nick out of this knife or something, very easy to hone back up in the field. Another cheap way to do that is if you don't have the sharpening stone and stuff, you can even just get a 2x4 and some different grit sandpapers, put some elastics around that, and do kind of the same thing, running it back and forth on the 2x4 with sandpaper. Same effect as the stone. So if you know how to maintain these knives, They're a lot sharper, a lot easier to control when cutting, especially for bushcraft, woodcraft related things, compared to something with this secondary bevel. Not that these can't get sharp, but I find, even myself as a knife maker, it's sometimes hard to get you know, that shaving sharp edge on a secondary bevel knife as opposed to a single bevel knife. So anyways, just wanted to do a little talk about field maintenance on knives. Any questions, let me know, and have a nice day.